Artist of the Year is a special end-of-year package of Artists of the Week, reaching you from Radio Nigeria, Enugu. And now, guess who is coming next? The Shadow Maestro, Ekasa exponent, Sasakosa initiator, King of Akwete and Mutaba music, Sir Victor Efosa Owaifo, MON. Sir Victor Owaifo is not just a musician, he is an embodiment of all forms of arts, and as he rightly put it himself, he is a multifaceted artist.
I am a many-faceted artist. Probably, if you don't know, I tell you now that I trained first as a graphic artist at the Yaba College of Technology, and I see and I hear. So which means if I listen to music, I see it, and I hear art also. So I am into so many things. I write, publishing, presently working on a book and music, starting with the guitar, the style. And I'm also the current chairman of the Bender State Arts Council. So I have a lot to do, you know. As you probably know, the State Arts Council is not just a council of musicians or just performing artists alone. We have the people casting bronze, the sculptors, painters, graphic artists, and the research department. Those people research into the custom and tradition of our people, and they write books for publishing. Then the music department is another section. Then the drama, dance drama. So all these forms of art are under my management.
Sir Victor Owaifo has numerous singles and albums to his credit. His first breakthrough came in the early 60s when his single Joromi made a hit. As a multifaceted artist, I asked him the role artists should play in a hunger-stricken and economically backward country like ours. His reply:
if somebody is not happy, then he cannot really perform well. Despite the hunger, as you just said, if a man comes back home and sits back, he will forget part of his hunger, you know, sufferings, if he listens to good music. So I would say that the music or the art, you know, has a way of compensating for problems, you know, the kind of the problems that one gets across daily. And you find some people take music as a hobby, you know, listening to music, and you find them, they look better than others who grimace all over the place every day.
And what is your idea of a good music?
Good music is that sound that sounds pleasant to the ears, a sound that will not irritate you, the sound that is not out of geometrical proportions, the sound that is well equalized and, you know, beautiful. You know, it can send you to the moon. That's what I call good sound.
Just like this one, which he made in 1966, Ozoboyegbe. Sir Victor Efosa Owaifo, MON. Well, it is now the turn of a lady singer in our parade of artists. And it's my pleasure to present to you Onyeka Onwenu.
Hallelujah, Chimney, Jehovah Chimney Mela, every Boramoria Chimney, Agamaturagin Mama. Hallelujah, Chimney, Jehovah Chimney Mela, every Boramoria Chimney, Agamaturagin Mama. Hallelujah, Chimney, Jehovah Chimney Mela, every Boramoria Chimney, Agamaturagin Mama. Hallelujah, Chimney, Jehovah Chimney Mela, every Boramoria Chimney.
Onyeka's contribution to contemporary Nigerian music cannot be overemphasized. Her place in music never came to her as a surprise.
Well, I wasn't surprised where I ended up, because I've always planned it that way. I've always known that I would go into music professionally. It was a matter of the timing of it. But this, from childhood, I've been singing in church groups. I had a group at Wellesley College in Massachusetts where I did my undergraduate work that was very popular, called the Tupulas. And I'll tell you a story about the Tupulas. The name itself is taken from, there's a lake in the school, and it's taken from a point called Tupelo Lake Point. And you know, the area was owned by Indians before the white people came in. And there's a story behind it. If a young man takes you around the lake, and he doesn't propose, you take him around 3 times, and at the end of it he doesn't propose, you have every right to push him into the lake.
Oh, wonderful.
At that particular point. And it has happened
That's
so many
interesting.
times. So we took our name from that, and we were quite popular. Never went into it professionally because I felt there were other things that I wanted to do, such as finishing my educational program and working, getting some experience. So the time was right in 1981 for me.
Okay, that's interesting. And like you said, you planned out everything you did. And Sonny Kosun being your producer then wasn't an accident, either.
Well, I don't know how you want to look at it, but I didn't know him beforehand. You see, Sonny, his wife, is a sister to my first cousin's wife, and they live in Chicago. So I called the house one day, and we picked up the phone, Sonny Kosun, and we started talking, and said, look, I'm also a singer. He said, send me a tape, which I did, and EMI heard it, and they were all excited about the voice, and said, well, we can do something with her. And that was how it started.
Okay. Onyeka, Nigerian women, I believe, are doing their best these days in almost every field. Indeed, they are living up to expectation. What do you say?
We're not living up to expectation, actually, and I don't take that view at all, because I see a lot of women suffering in this country, especially in the rural areas, that, excuse me, because they haven't got the information. For example, we complain about food and food. You know that there are certain things that you can cook for a child to give them vitamins, such as cassava leaves. They're not very expensive, are they? You can, you know, if you don't have the money to go to the market and buy, go to the, pick cassava leaves and make something nice for the child to eat. This comes through education, living in a clean environment, showing them that it is important. Also, a woman who is being battered by her husband because she is considered his property does not know her rights. If she stays in that same situation, no help is offered to her. And this is what I would like to see. We've got more than 50% of the population of this country, and we're not utilizing them. Because even those that are educated and have all the qualifications, they work very hard to bring in the bread. There's no longer the situation where the man can make all the money himself. It's not enough to run a family. But the women do not get the credit that is due them. And those that would want to go into certain professions, because of self-fulfillment, which is very important to every individual, created by God, that you have your talents. And God has given you this talent, go and use them. And somebody ties you up that because you're a woman, you're not supposed to do this. I mean, it happened in the music business. Until lately, women don't go into it because it's the height of bad form.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's most unfair, because then if that had been the case, now I wouldn't be in this profession.
1986 saw Onyeka sailing higher in her musical career. She added more colors to her feathers with another album, the fourth one in the series. It is called One Love.
Before we knock it up, what's your message for the Nigerian youth?
Oh, times are hard, I know, but they can still make it. I mean, I remember, not that I'm that old, but I remember when I was younger that the emphasis was not on wearing high heel shoes or painting your lips or how much of this you have or how much money you can get from this person and that person. The emphasis was on making do what you had. You had to make sacrifices and pursue your goal, knowing that at the end of it, if you've achieved your goal, then comes the good things in life will come to you. Good things come to those who wait. Now, I put myself through school, and this is something that I probably haven't talked about.
Well,
but yes, I was working, and I was going to school. Luckily for me, I had a scholarship for my first degree, but at the same time, the pocket money, the books, the clothes, everything I bought because I had to work and do that. My graduate education, nobody paid a penny for me. I worked and I paid. And this is, I had to make lots of sacrifices at the time, but this is something that I have been taught to do, that you know what you're heading for. Just try to compose yourself and get it.
Try to compose yourself and get what you want. It is with this advice from Onyeka Onwenu that we bring to an end this end of year Star Parade, Artists of the Year. Well, with one love, this is Ikechukwu Udechime wishing you a prosperous new year.